and I'm smoking on platinum. Got my eye on the prize so I don't do distractions. I'm coming back.
Moving on to a special edition. I thought of myself for. We're gonna call this y'all heard of it before, the start bench cut edition.
Yes, sir.
So we got 3 tiers of players, different positions. First set of players. Let's talk about for start bench cut. It's gonna be Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers. Go ahead, Austin.
This one, I think it's pretty easy. I'm starting Brady. How do you not start the best quarterback of all time? And that's undisputed. That's undisputed at this point. I'm benching Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers also is, you can argue, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Now, he doesn't have the rings to prove it, but rings aren't solely on the quarterback. He is one of the best quarterbacks of all time, whether you want to admit it or not. He is a top 10 arguable quarterback of all time. Mahomes, I'm cutting. And this is just because you can't bench 2 quarterbacks in this. Mahomes, his age works against him in these specific 3 players. The fact that he 25? I mean, yeah, he's got a Super Bowl. He's got an MVP. He's undisputed, probably the best quarterback currently in the league. But I have to cut him just because of the long list of accolades that Brady and Rodgers have accumulated over the course of their careers. I got to cut Mahomes for now. I'm sure that'll change in a while, but I got to cut Mahomes.
All right, go ahead, Justin.
I completely agree, 1,000%. Maybe our reasons are probably different because my reasoning is the situation that they were put in. Tom Brady took average players and won 6 Super Bowls.
Now,
Aaron Rodgers
average?
probably had
average.
The whole team average?
Receivers. Took average receivers.
I mean, y'all just said, though, football is not a one-position game, one-sided. You know he had a squad almost every Super Bowl. His defense was a squad.
Well, Brady makes his players play better than they really are. That's kind of, you said the Brady effect earlier with them re-signing everybody. That's another thing with the Brady effect. Everybody he plays with just plays better. That's why Julian Edelman is regarded as high as he is. If he goes to another team, he's not doing anything. And outside of Randy Moss and old Chad Johnson, he's never had like Gronk is Gronk. Gronk is Gronk, so as a tight end, but as a receiver, he's never had anything.
He just makes
everybody play better. He just makes everybody play better.
Tight end.
That's a debate for another time.
Then, if Gronk never had Brady, I don't think he's as successful. That's what I think.
I don't know, because Gronk's never really bailed out Brady. So even without
championship game against the Jags, threw it up to Brady. I mean, Gronk. You can just throw it up to Gronk.
You're not.
There was a holding call on Ramsey or Bouye, one of them two, because it was Gronk. He's big as hell. So I feel like he's probably the greatest tight end. So you agree with Austin? Okay.
I do, and Aaron Rodgers, he's also taken about average, slightly above average receivers. His best receiver I think he's ever had is clearly Devontae Adams. So, and then probably the next best is Jordy Nelson, probably. So he hasn't really had amazing receivers as well besides Devontae Adams. So, and he's took them and done magical, like magician type stuff with them.
He just always has a bad record in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. But I wouldn't really put all of that on him though. He's had some bad games, but not everything. Like he'd be in the Super Bowl if it wasn't for Kevin King, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, how many seasons since Rodgers has played have you said that they're not a contender to win the division? I think maybe once.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And then Mahomes, he was just put in the perfect situation. He was putting the perfect. I'm not knocking his. He's great as a quarterback. He's great as a quarterback, but he was put in probably the most perfect position ever. You got the fastest person in the NFL. You got probably the best tight end in the NFL, and then McCall. Actually, you got the whole fastest receiving core in the NFL. If I'm being real, you got the fastest receiving core in the NFL, and then the defense is slightly above average. But I'm not knocking Mahomes. He's just not Mahomes. He's just not Brady or Aaron Rodgers. That's what it is. But yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. I mean, if you're going off accolades, I probably agree with y'all. But start Rodgers, bench Brady, cut Mahomes.
Start
Now,
Rodgers, huh?
how can you say that Brady hasn't been put into a good spot in his career?
Because a lot of the talent around him hasn't ever been that great aside from his defenses. I mean, yes, he's always
But it's been good enough.
He makes them better.
Rodgers hasn't had a first-round receiver ever besides Tavon Austin this past year. He got a touchdown pass from A-Rod. First ever wideout that A-Rod threw to a first-round receiver.
Well, that's not on Rodgers. That's on their organization that drafted him stuff.
Yeah.
But here, this is the thing. This is the thing with Brady. Here, I'm going to name you a couple players, and I want you to tell me how much success they've had outside of playing with Brady. Danny Amendola, Chris Hogan.
You went quiet. Too. I don't know
James
where he
White.
is.
Oh, not James White. He's still there. Who else has left the Patriots that I can't think of? There's other players too. I just cannot think of them off the top of my head. But Chris Hogan and Danny Amendola, two very important pieces to their Super Bowls of the last 5 years. What has Amendola done on the Lions, and what has Chris Hogan done on? What is he on the Jets now, or is it the Bills? It's the Jets or the Bills.
How can you say that
He makes
offensive coordinator
everybody
didn't
better.
put him in a good position either?
Because it's Tom effing Brady.
Listen, if you put any other quarterback, say Tom Brady was out, right? Say you had Jimmy G throughout that whole time. I'd say
they'll win some rings.
Jimmy G isn't doing that. Jimmy G
is
isn't
winning
making them better.
some rings. They're winning rings.
Jimmy G winning them some rings.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think so because they don't have
the only ring they probably don't win is the Falcons 28-3. That's probably it.
I don't think they
win.
If they have
Super
Jimmy
Bowl,
G, if they don't have Jimmy G, they don't beat the Rams either.
No, they beat
if
the
they
Rams.
don't have a
The Rams beat themselves. The Rams beat them. I still think the Rams beat themselves that game because they were too stuck on Todd Gurley being out, which was
the worst Super Bowl of
who
all
was
time.
an MVP candidate. Todd Gurley. They were too stuck on Todd Gurley not being healthy. Couldn't really get him involved in the game. Their defense showed up. Like Aaron Donald, that defense showed up. Held them to 13. They got a late field goal.
It was 13-3. It was the worst Super Bowl of all time.
It was ultimately 3-3 most of the game. In the fourth quarter, they got 10 points. They could have won 6-3, in my opinion. They didn't even need to score a touchdown to win.
Yeah.
So I think Jimmy G still does the same thing Brady does that game.
I don't think so.
Like I said, if they win,
Jimmy G throws the game away.
I don't think they get there
win,
with Jimmy
it's
G.
because of the defense, not because of Jimmy G. Not because of Jimmy G. If they win any Super Bowls, it's because of the defense, not Jimmy G. But if they lose, it's on Jimmy G.
Let's move on to the next people because we could go on and on about Brady.
Yo, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, turn post notifications on so you know when we post next. All right, peace.